Empty, guilty, silent, regretful. Perhaps it's true that things can change in a day, that a few dozen hours can affect the outcome of whole lifetimes, and that when they do, those few dozen hours, like the salvaged remains of a burned house, the charred clock, the singed photograph, the scorched furniture, must be resurrected from the ruins and examined, preserved, accounted for. Little events, ordinary things, smashed and reconstituted, imbued with new meaning. Suddenly they become the bleached bones of a new story. Still, to say that it all began when Sophie Mole came to Ayumenem is only one way of looking at it.
Sophie Mole is coming!
Sophie Mole is English.
Sophie Mole is beautiful.
Sophie Mole was loved from the beginning.
The only thing special about Sophie Mole is that she's a little bit taller than us.
Rahel, you need to behave yourself around Sophie Mole. Veloutha!
Equally, it could be argued that it really began in the days when the love laws were made, the laws that lay down who should be loved and how much.
Look! It's Veloutha! He's in the Communist March! Rahel, get down! Oh!
You're an untouchable. I don't want to touch you. Sweep up your footprints and walk backwards.
Who was he? Who could he have been? The god of loss? The god of small things? The god of goosebumps and sudden smiles? He could do only one thing at a time. If he had touched her, he couldn't talk to her. If he loved her, he couldn't leave. If he spoke, he couldn't listen. If he fought, he couldn't win.
Look, Esta, a boat!
What was it that gave Amu this unsafe edge, this air of unpredictability? It was what she had battling inside her, an unmixable mix, the infinite tenderness of motherhood and the reckless rage of a suicide bomber. It was this that grew inside her and eventually led her to love by night the man her children loved by day, to use by night the boat that children used by day, the boat that Esta sat on and Rahel found.
Sophie Mole! Sophie Mole! Sophie! Sophie!
It is curious how sometimes the memory of death lives on for so much longer than the memory of the life that it purloined. Over the years, as the memory of Sophie Mole slowly faded, the loss of Sophie Mole grew robust and alive. It was always there, like a fruit in season, every season, as permanent as a government job. It ushered Rahel through childhood into womanhood.
Nee! No! Nee! Anybody!
While other children of their age learned other things, Esta and Rahel learned how history negotiates its terms and collects its dues from those who break its laws. They heard its sickening thud, they smelled its smell, and never forgot it.
He's dead. I've killed him.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. None of this would have happened. I wouldn't be here. I would have been free. I should have dumped you in an orphanage the day you were born. You are the millstones around my neck.
Save Amu.
It was him who abducted us.
Slowly, over the years, Esta withdrew from the world. Gradually, the reason for her silence was hidden away, entombed somewhere deep in the soothing folds of the fact of it. In years to come, they would replay this scene in their heads, as children, as teenagers, as adults. Had they been deceived into doing what they did? Had they been tricked into condemnation? In a way, yes, but it wasn't as simple as that. They both knew that they had been given a choice, and how quick they had been in the choosing. They hadn't given it more than a second of thought before they looked up and said, "Save us, save our mother."
He's dead. I've killed him.
Somehow, by not mentioning his name, she knew that she had drawn him into the tussled intimacy of that blue cross-stitch afternoon and the song from the Tangerine Transistor. By not mentioning his name, she sensed that a pact had been forged between her dream and the world, and that the midwives of that pact were, or would be, her two-egg twins. She knew who he was, the god of loss, the god of small things.
Jai Ho!
आजा जिंद शामी आने के तले, आजा जरी वाले नीले आसमाने के तले।